All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, so I want to do a quick rankings update for the flyweight division. And as I go through it, I just kind of want to talk about each fighter's situation, as far as some matches I want to see, and just to give y'all some updates on some matches that are happening. And my thoughts on some of those matches as well, man, because y'all know which match I'm talking about. Really, it's coming up here pretty soon. But real quick, let me go ahead and pull up the rankings here. Let's take a look at flyweight because we had three good fights this past weekend. A couple of, I won't say shakeups or like anything shocking, but, we got some good stuff going on, right? First off, coming in number 15, we got J.J. Aldridge. J.J. Aldridge is making her come into the division after, they've been cutting a lot of girls at the bottom. They've been cutting a lot of excess fat out. Montana, she's been cut. Andrea Lee's gone now. Now Ivana Petrovic. So some of those numbers are kind of dwindling there, and they're really starting to tighten up now. So that kind of gives a edge to somebody like J.J. Aldridge, who has been kind of up and down, but you see some improvements. She's starting to make her, way in there. She's still in her 20s. So, I want to see J.J. Aldridge, really step up her game in these next few fights. But I know the perfect fight for her. I'm going to go over that here in a minute. Number 14, we got Ariana De Silva. De Silva, she's another one, man, that could face that chopping block. I was loving her improvements. She beat J.J. Aldridge. She beat several other fighters, was looking solid. Then all of a sudden, she ran into girls like Jasmine and Karine Silva, So same with her. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think it's really coming down to some of her like ground fundamentals, and her strength. I think there's a lot of work that has to be done there. So right now, with the way she's moving, I don't really see her as a big threat to the top 10. She packs a good punch, but still needs some work. Number 13, Casey O'Neill, I believe she's still out because of the injury. She did have some fight news a little while back. So, she's still holding on to that spot as well. But she's not safe either, because these girls at the top, they still are more well-rounded than her. So I know when she comes back, she's going to be trying to shoot for somebody higher. But in my opinion, I would like to see her and J.J. Aldridge fight. That would be a good fight for J.J., to try to get herself higher in the rankings. Number 12, you got Miranda Maverick. I would have loved to see Miranda fight Karine Silva, but hey, this fight that she's fighting against Rose, it benefits her more. So, hey, if she's able to get the victory, I'm all for it. I am pulling for Miranda here because, I want to see her, add some spice to the division. And if she wins, that'll elevate her up to like number 6. So she'll be almost stomping with, them Sharks here pretty soon. So hopefully, she's ready for that. Number 11, you got Karine Silva. Karine Silva says she got some fight news coming up, so I don't know who she's fighting yet. Tracy Cortez coming in number 10. She's fighting Viviane Araújo. Number 9, Jessica Andrade. She just caught a beat down to Jasmine Jasudavicius. So I think things aren't really looking good for Jessica. Jessica looks strong at the weight, but she's just kind of tame compared to the other girls. Her being strong and filled out at 125 just doesn't match up to the skills and the big girls. They're just too good for her. Let's just be real. So hopefully at some point, like Ebos, she makes that exit out of this flyweight ranking and gets just back down to 115 and finishes off her career there. Number 8, Viviane Araújo, who's still kind of hanging on. She's still kind of hanging on, and again, like when I look at this matchup with Tracy Cortez, I still think she has enough to, hold on and, actually win that fight. All right. Then you got number 7, Rosemary Namajunas, who was number 6 last week. Everybody's pretty much dropped here since Natalia Silva's won her fight and Grasso's dropping. So Jasmine Jasudavicius is number 6. She jumps up 3 spots. She's earned it. That's 5 wins in a row for her. I would love to see her call out the winner of Blanchfield Barber next. That's a perfect fight for her. I know she would want to shoot higher. If she wants something higher than that, call for, the losers this past Saturday. If she wants Manon, call for that fight. If she wants Grasso, call for that fight. Those are all good matchups for her. But stay away from Natalia Silva right now. Number 5 is Macy Barber taking on Aaron, the number 4 fighter. At the end of the month, that's a good fight. That's another good fight that could decide who fights for the belt or fights Natalia Silva, if the Valentina Weili fight takes place, right? Number 3, Alexa Grasso. More on Alexa Grasso in another video, y'all. That's all I got to say right now. And number 2, Manon Fior. More on Manon in another video, y'all. There's a lot to unpack there. And, of course, number 1, Natalia Silva jumped up 4 spots. So Natalia Silva's looking like the one right now. She was in my second triple threat. She's the one I felt like, okay, outside of that one, She's got it. She's ready. And I think she could get the title shot right now and fight for it. But like I said, if Weili takes on the champion, Valentina Shevchenko, then she could sit back and fight somebody else and stay busy. Call for Blanchfield Barber winner herself. Call for that fight. See if she could get that fight. And if she does, Jasmine could fight the loser of that fight. It's still it's still good for both fighters. There's always room to learn more and grow. Because right now, anybody can earn a title shot. Anybody can earn a title shot right now, and I'll be fine with it, or they can deserve it. But with the way Valentina's looking right now, everybody, deserves the title shot, but I really don't see anybody taking the title anymore. Like, since, Manon couldn't do it, and she did show some signs of a fighter that had the skills, I don't really see anybody else outside of that. Again, maybe Natalia Silva could, but even then, with her being so young and inexperienced at this level, I would still be like, oh, you know what? She could do for another fight or two. There's no problem now. There's no problem in waiting now, because we'll see. We see what happens when everybody fights Valentina right now. So, hey, more work. Hey, the more improvements you get, and you go from there. So yeah, man. Like I said, the Miranda Rose fight, I think that benefits Miranda more. The other fights I would have loved to see. I would like to see JJ versus Casey O'Neill. And let me see. I'd really like to see Andrade and Rose in the third fight. Just close that out for real. Other than that, like I said, I'm going to talk about Manon and Grasso in some other videos. But, yeah, as far as they go, I would like to see them two fight. Them two should fight next when they want to come back. I think they both got to come back by the end of the year, though. I think Manon definitely does, just to stay sharp and not, just sit here and stew in this fight. Stew in this loss, for so long. Don't think about it too long. Go right back to the drawing board. Watch the tape and get right back into training and cover what you need to work on, So, yeah. What do y'all think, guys, about the rankings right now? Y'all think Natalia Silva's ready? You want to see that fight? Do you want to see Weili try to jump up and catch them hands that everybody else been catching? Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.